Alexa, stop. Morning, Avery. Take your seizure meds. No weapons formed against you shall prosper. You can go back to sleep for a little while. When Avery is in day program, this is the time I get up to get him ready. He is not in day program anymore. We're up this morning for his appointment for accessoride. So, this is the morning routine as if he was going to program. I want Avery back in program, but I don't miss getting up with the morning routine. I don't. So I'm going to make me some coffee and go sit down for about 20 minutes, drink my coffee. Then I'm going to iron, his clothes, get myself together, then get him up and get him together. I'm going to let him take a breakfast sandwich with him. Instead of just eating, breakfast here, I'm going to let him take a breakfast sandwich with him while we're on the way, because I'm just tired this morning. Jimmy Dean sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich with a granola bar, a banana, and I'll get a juice from downstairs in the machine and take this with him. I'm going to heat this up right before we leave, wrap it in foil, and then he can eat it, like I said, on the way, in the vehicle. I'm going to drink my mushroom coffee instead, because I don't want the crashes or jitters later. Mushroom coffee gives you just as much energy without the side effects later. So I'm going to drink the mushroom coffee this morning. After I get myself together, then I will get Avery up. I will toilet him, shower him, the grooming, lotion up, all of that. And that is every morning when I would have to get him up for program. And when I was working full-time and going to school doing my master's at night, I would get up early like this. I would be so drained. I happen to get both of us out of here. And yes, I know people are up with kids in the morning. Avery is 30. He's not a little kid. And when he was a kid, obviously I was much younger and I had the energy to do it. But in the latter years, as he got older, and now, it's a lot. So Avery's just going to wear a simple white tee. This is undershirt, gray sweats, gray hoodie. But they kind of wrinkled the sweats and the tee, so I'm going to knock it out at the iron real quick. Nothing all fancy. I'm not matching this jeans with this shirt and this and that. No, simple. Make life easy for me. Yeah, before it's like, oh, this matches with this, and this goes with that, and this green hat goes with that. No. No, buddy. I'm tired of that kind of stuff. White tees all the time. or black tees. Yeah, I'm going to knock the little wrinkles out of this real quick and go drink my coffee. And like I said, sit down for about 20 minutes, and then I'll go get in the shower while we have hot water. I remember I used to be so tired in the mornings because I would get up, 5 o'clock, get Avery together, get myself together, get him on that bus, then I'd go to work or school, depending on what job I was doing at the time. Some mornings, at some times, I would be going to school and have some classes and then go to work. And then there was times when I was going to work and then go to school. So when I was doing my master's degree, I'm up early, crack of dawn like this, get him out. I go to work, preschoolers, imagine that. Okay, so you got lesson plans and 1,000 toddlers running all over the place. And I would leave work at 5 o'clock to be down at Fordham University to do my master's at night. And I would be getting home at 10. And when I come in, get myself unwind and stuff like that. Try to do a little bit of schoolwork. Sometimes Avery would be sleeping, sometimes he would not be. At that time, I had respite. So when I had respite, it was Madeline. I'll go talk about Madeline in some of my other videos. But her and her mother were lifesavers at the time. Else I would not been able to go to school and finish any type of degrees or anything or work or nothing. That's when I had respite. Okay, so let me make this perfectly clear. Before I started my master's degree, when I was doing my undergrad degree, had it not been for Joanne Joseph, Candace, Tiara, Jasmine, and Vaughn, had it not been for Joanne, I would have not been able to complete my undergrad degree. Had it not been for Sparkle, I would have not been able to complete my degree because Joanne and Sparkle kept Avery for me. Joanne kept Avery 1 day out of the week. Joe and Sparkle kept Avery 2 days out of the week. They would get Avery off the bus, take him upstairs, take care of him until I got home from class. So had it not been for them, I would not have been able to finish my degree because who was going to watch Avery? I didn't have anybody. I didn't have respite at the time. I didn't have Madeline and her mother at the time. So when I was doing undergrad, it was Sparkle and Joanne. I owe everything to them. Candace and Tiara, they took good care of Avery, changed his pampers, especially Candace. And, they didn't give me a hard time. They didn't make me feel funny. They loved Avery. And I owe everything to them because if it had not been for these people, I would not have my bachelor's degree. When I graduated with my bachelor's degree, or in the middle of my bachelor's degree, that is when I found out about respite, and I got respite, and I got Candace and Maruha, and Madeline and Maruha. Candace, Tiara, those are Joanne's children. Candace, Tiara, Jasmine, and Vaughn, and Sean. And Candace and Tiara were literally little girls, 11 and 12, helping me with Avery. When Joanne would get Avery off the bus, she'd take him upstairs to her house, and, her kids will help. They would play with Avery. And on the other 2 days, Sparkle would get Avery off the bus and take Avery up to her house. And the kids that Sparkle was keeping at the time, they would play with Avery and, keep him occupied and things like that. So I did have a lot of help in the beginning when I was just starting out, going back to school to finish my degrees. Yeah, so when I went to school at night to do my master's, Madeline was here with Avery. And like I said, I'd be getting in at like 10 o'clock. Oh my God, I would be so tired because I was up at 5. I'll miss those days. Lesson plans and teacher exams and gosh. Parents wanting to meet and parent teacher night and toddlers. And then coming home to deal with my autistic baby was a lot. Homework. Oh God. Writing speeches and thesis papers, and times I had to go to tutoring for my math. That was in undergrad when I was doing my bachelor's. Take me through there. And Avery's father was in jail at the time, the whole time. So in that time, I'm doing jail visits and writing jail letters and packages and going up to visits. And on the way, I remember sometime on the way coming home, I'm studying, doing my homework. I would call while I was on a bus and order food so Madeline and Avery could have food. And those days I don't miss. One of Avery's medications is not time now, but I take this with me. Yeah, during that time also, don't forget Avery's appointments and doctor appointments and annual this and evaluations and meeting with the district for that. And didn't I say I was going to use my mushroom coffee? Yeah. But all of that is when I was in my 30s, 20s and 30s. Not almost 60 now. Doing that, it would be insane. Tired, guys. I'm burnt out. I have what's called caregiver's burnout. My body has changed. And as I mentioned in every video, the menopause, right? The hot flashes. Sometimes I wake up with little light headaches and stuff. You know, I'm up on my physicals, but blood work and, you know, x-rays of stuff because my body is aching and stuff. It's a change of life. And there is no making it easy and less stress. It's impossible with an autistic adult. How can I do that? I mean, now when he goes to program and when he's in program, I have those hours. But even with that, things are like on a rush, on a timer. Hurry up and do stuff before he get back. You got to get him off that bus. You know what I mean? And I'm up the crack of dawn in the morning, getting him ready and all of that. It's still a little stressful because at this age, really, you know, it's a collective. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, I'm in my late 50s now. Come on, over the years, I'm tired. I have caregiver's burnout. I've never been on a vacation. Ever. I've never been on a vacation. Now, when Avery goes away to respite for like a weekend or a couple of days, I have downtime. And believe it or not, I don't want to go anywhere because sometimes my friends are like, oh, come visit me or come, we'll go do this and that. I just want to sleep. I just want to take long showers, curl up in my bed and sleep till it's time to go get Avery. And when he goes away to camp for 2 weeks, I usually sleep for a week, and then the next week I'll do some visits, you know. But I really wasn't able to go away to vacation because I really didn't have the coin like that, you know what I mean? So, but I did get a little downtime. And when they come home, like individuals, when they come home from camp or when they come home from respite, there's a little questionnaire always in their book bag. What did you as a caregiver do, you know, while your child was away? Did you get to sleep late? Did you go shopping? Did you visit friends? Because these people, these organizations, that's what they're there for, to give moms and caregivers like us a break. So they know that time is very precious for us. So they ask us, like, you know, what did you do with your time? Just being able to sleep late and not having to bathe anybody or give meds or be running around, or, you know, when I mean running around, because Avery's active. He'd be running all around here, cleaning up floods, because like I told you, he will cause a flood, toileting anybody. Like, you know, it's one thing when they're little, but when they're a big teen and an adult, man, come on. Like I said, I'm up there. I'm tired, guys. I have caregivers burnout. I have it. And I have the least care for myself. Now, I get my doctor's appointments. You know, there's times I have to take him with me, especially now that he's not in program. You know, my doctor knows him, or dentist, you know, when I go. Like when he was able to go back to program, and I, you know, it's like, okay, let me get to the dentist. Let me go to my doctor's appointment. The first thing they're like is, where's Avery? Where's Avery? Because Avery is connected to my hip. It's connected to my hip. And I need a break. If I don't take care of me, if I'm not okay mentally and physically, how can I be the best mom to care for Avery and make sure Avery's okay? How? But sometimes it's impossible. So like now, this morning, I gave him his medicine. He's going to go back to sleep for a little while. I'll get him up, like it was a little after 5. I'll get him up at about maybe 7:10. This time right now that I'm having my coffee, this little 25 minutes, this is a little downtime for me to get myself, you know, together and collect my thoughts, you know. Just the stillness of the morning, say my prayers, say my morning affirmations, you know. Oh, my. Put his medicine in my pocket. This is like for anxiety while we're out, in case he kind of gets a little off the rails. Okay, so last night I sat and filled out the research package. Sorry guys, can you see? For transit for Accessoride. I have his you know, papers with his diagnosis of autism and epilepsy, and I don't claim that, the epilepsy thing. I don't. Anyway, You know, you have to have all of that. So I sat and I did all of that last night. And so, yeah, we're off. So I'll pack Avery's bag with some snacks, an extra change of clothes just in case he has an accident. You know, I have wipes in here, baby wipes in here, a washcloth. I have a little thing of Dettol soap, and like I said, an extra pair of clothes just in case there's an accident. And like I said, make sure I have his snacks, you know, because he's going to want snacks. You know, got some granola bars and some Cheez-Its. I'll put a fruit in there as well. But yes, I have to pack a bag, just like how you would have to do for a toddler. This is what it is. I have to. Okay, I got everything prepared. Now I'm going to go sit down, I said, for like 20 minutes. Then get up and get my shower. Then get Avery ready, and so we can get out of the door and get this appointment over with. Avery would have so many appointments. The primary care physician, the psychiatrist, the dermatologist, the gastroenterologist, the ologist. The appointments are never ending. Seriously, every time one of my friends called, whatever, they're like, April, you always go into the appointment. Yes, this is what it is. Yes. And the thing with accessoride is that I don't like is a shared ride. That's when you're riding like with strangers. So you get downstairs and somebody's already in the vehicle. Now, the driver will say, okay, you know, you let him sit up front, or you sit in the back, or let him sit. No, he has to sit with me because I know he can, you know, do behaviors and stuff like that. So then you're inconveniencing a passenger maybe because he has to sit with me. Avery cannot sit by himself in the back alone with a stranger. You know what I mean? Because I know Avery, and I know, you know what I'm saying, if he was to touch somebody's face or things like that. So I hate when they do the shared ride. I don't really like accessoride. I don't. And I do not drive. I'm here in New York. I'm in the city. Even if I did drive, the places that we're going are like in Midtown, and there's no parking anyway. So, you know, don't say, well, drive, or you should have a vehicle. The places and the destinations where we're going, these appointments and these places are in Midtown. There is no parking. And to pay for parking is insane. So, it is what it is. If I had a family friend or someone that could take Avery and I and wait for us, that, you know, that would be a blessing. Like someone that would be able to do that consistently, like all the appointments Avery have. Now, I do have a neighbor that lives upstairs. From time to time, very sparse, you know, he'll give me a lift or whatever, but, and I, you know, I still give him a little something. You can't just, like I said, hop in people's vehicles and stuff, you know what I mean? But this is what it is, guys. Avery, autism, and me. When I go take my shower, I have to keep the door open and the curtain pulled so I can see him, because he's not fully asleep. He's asleep, but not fully asleep. He will get up and be getting into everything around here. And I didn't put the mittens on him to prevent him from picking up things or putting things in his mouth. So I got to be really quick. I can't just relax and take a shower. No, got to be on my P's and Q's even